Hello and welcome to Racers Now. It is the eve of Royal Ascot as we have got a fantastic week ahead, 5 days at Royal Ascot, 8 Group 1s across the week. That's where we're going to be concentrating our efforts. We've got the decks for Tuesday, day 1. We've got the decks for day 2. Plenty of fancies along the way. By popular demand, we've got industry insider Lee Jones back with us. He of our Cheltenham Festival preview fame, where he went down really well. He doesn't show his face that often, but he's here tonight. We've got Harry with us, who you've seen before, and SD, who you see every day of your life, just back from holiday. We're going to be live. I don't know how the technology is going to go, but let's give it a try. Where are we going to start? Are we going to start with you, SD? I'm sure we must start with SD, given that he is the star of the show. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. It's great to see the industry outsider doing a sort of doppelganger as a ghost tonight. The Welsh ghost.
Look, he's got a white t-shirt on.
Yeah, he does. You just look like you're wrapped in a napkin, sir.
Well, I should have worn my pink t-shirt for you, Esty.
Yes, that would appeal to some.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you, Harry? Are you well?
Yes, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Ready for a big week of racing. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, yes, it's Hexham on Sunday.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
of course.
He definitely won't be a Hexham on Sunday, I can guarantee you that.
Let's start the bingo card. We've already got our first comment in from Dean Lowry, who said SD is the star. So the followers...
Well done, Dean. Well done. Your check is in the post, sir.
Right, we're not here to mess around then. Day 1, free Group 1, starting with the Queen Anne. Talk to me about the Queen Anne Wizard. Away you go, Lee, should I say?
Yeah. I mean, shame about Sardinian Warrior coming out earlier, wasn't it?
Well, particularly for those who tipped it anti-post at 14-1 like yours truly.
Yeah. He added a pace angle to the race, I thought. I've not got much of a massive opinion on this race. I mean, Bazalian and Notable are coming from needing, in inverted brackets, runs in the Lock-in. Lead Artist and Dancing Gemini were ahead of them. You got Lake Forest who's stepping up to a mile, though I'm not sure he's going to get a mile at Ascot, I must admit. I think he's more of a pacey horse. Diego first time up. You got American horse, who I'm not sure will stay a mile on Ascot neither. Docklands, he loves Ascot, but he's most probably not good enough. I've not got a massive opinion on the race, if I'm being truthful. I'd most probably be against Rizali in a notable speech and take my chances for the rest of the field. Really, I'd lay them and maybe throw Dancing Gemini in as well and have the rest running for you, something like lay 8 to 11. But I've not got a massive opinion on the race, if truth being told.
I've done a lot of talking about the Lock-in trainers saying that they were delighted beforehand, but then straight after saying they would come on the run, Rosalian and Notable Speech. I thought there was daylight between those two and the front two, and I thought Lead Artist was well in command at the line. He loves fast ground. He's going to get that again. I think he could be even better at the Stiff Mile at Ascot in comparison to Newbury. I think he won over further at Goodwood last year, if I'm right. And I think he's a nice enough price. Earlier, when Sardinian was in there, you could get 4 places each way on this race, and Lead Artist was a gift at that, I thought. That's now down to the standard 3 places with Sardinian out. But yeah, I wouldn't be going massively strong. You couldn't clearly make an argument for the first 4 in the market. Diego Velasquez, I looked at a few weeks ago, but his lack of prep run has put me off a little bit. Market confidence might well be a sign for him. SD. Queen Anne, talk to me.
I disagree with you.
Thank you. On which part?
I disagree with you on the part of Rosalind and Notable Speech not coming forward for that Newbury run. I think they will. I think the problem of the race somewhat is that they're priced accordingly now. I think Rosalind is the most likely winner. But there's no juice in the price. I mean, Dancing Gemini, the poor thing was just. I mean, how on earth it's still trained by Roger Teal, I don't know. After they just basically farted around over the wrong trick with it for most of last year and buggered it up.
To be fair to Roger Teal, SD, he's not the first trainer who's not realised the proper conditions for the horse as a 3-year-old, is he? I mean, I'm not trying to defend him, but I mean, O'Brien's done it, Stout's done it, and he may not be as good, but I think he's done not a bad job with it, if I'm being honest.
Well, O'Brien done it with Diego Velasquez in this race at a lower level, but
yeah.
I mean,
no,
I don't think it's good enough anyway. And of course, King Shu is on, so we must all bow to him, shouldn't we? I think lead artist. You were on about backing at E-Tray the other day. I didn't like the run at Sandown particularly, and I know there were excuses, but it does show that there's two ways of running. I think of the Lockinge form, that'll come out on top. I disagree with the great man on Lake Forest. I think it's bred to stay. I think it likes Ascot, and if there's any movement, if there's any sort of juice in any of the prices, of one horse who I think could show a little bit more and then go past them, it's Lake Forest.
Lake Forest, not for me.
Yeah, shortened a bit today, isn't he? Lake Forest. I'm just looking now. He's like 12 on the machine.
I tipped him up. That's why.
Well, yeah. You're moving, mate. Yeah.
We moved the Queen Anne market.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll come on to that later. You've moved the Prince of St. James's Palace. No, I'm not saying that they won't come on for the run, SD. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is I don't want to be told beforehand that they've been for 3 away days in Rosallion and Charlie Appleby was, I quote, delighted. And then straight after they tell us that, we're looking forward to Queen Anne. There'll be a lot more to come from that. That just annoyed me. Should I let that cloud my betting judgment?
Your problem, sir, as a punter, just on that point, sorry to talk over you, is you can listen too much to trainers. Trainers, I'll tell you now, just as a general point, are the worst tipsters in the world. Some of them don't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, that's fair. Talking of people that do have a clue, we're going to go on to Harry now, and he's going to tell us who's going to win the Queen Anne.
Well, I mean, it feels bad now to say that I think Rosalian's going to win. I think 333 days off the track. Obviously, did have a few more away days than a Notable Speech, but I would raise. Would you be confident back in Notable Speech if, with last year's run at Ascot, only has had one run at the track? Is that something that we'd look as a negative? Obviously, the yard were in bad form at that point, but is that something that we'd look to tomorrow as a negative?
It's built in the price, isn't it?
Round course. Yeah. It was on the round course.
But you are right to bring it up. He did run awful in this last year. But it's a completely different race on a straight mile than compared to that run course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do just think Rosalian, I think obviously has proved it at the track as well. And lead artist, if he hadn't have had the first run of the season finishing that badly, I think it'd have all looked differently. But I just can't see past like it happening, and then I just don't know whether that could come out again. I think Dancing Gemini, they've said that the ground's probably going to be too quick for it. Diego Velasquez first time up, I'm not really sure about either.
Well, in the comments, Lee Graham says Rosalian wins on the snaff and he's having a 1 million point win. Dean Lowry says lead artist all day. Tony Rodeo's nonsense says his SD sat in a steam room, which is a fit, could be a potentially fair comment. And Elboy, new to the comments, whatever that moron blogger backs, ignore that. So we'll wait to see what he backs. Right. On to the Coventry, where I've got a bet. SD moves markets in the correct direction. I move markets in the wrong direction because I like this ballistic missile that did virtually everything wrong at York on debut.
Sorry, can I? I don't know overtouch. One last thing on the Queen Anne. Do you know your point on them using the Lockinge as a trial? Yeah. That's not the problem, but this meeting is getting bigger and bigger every year.
Yes, it is,
and it's becoming like Cheltenham. And trainers are running horses in Group 1s, like the Lockinge. And the Lockinge, SD, remember, the Lockinge was a proper race for 25 last 8 years. But it is becoming a trial for the Queen Anne, whether people like it or not.
That's fair comment. I don't.
No, it's
like
true.
It's happening, but it is happening.
Remember Hawkwing's Lockinge?
I do.
My point with Rosalian is he has a very short window. He's one of the most ground-dependent horses at the top level in training. He's got a very short window of opportunity that might literally only be 5 weeks long. I think it's a month to the day the Lockinge to the Queen Anne is 4 weeks. And he needs quick ground, and he might well, but he might not get it again for the rest of the season from tomorrow. So
one thing I do know is Notable Speech was. I mean, he wasn't even 75% going into that race, and he blew for ages after, and they are properly happy with him now. Where I think Rosalian was a lot more cooked first time up, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to have a massive opinion on the race, but we'll move on.
Right,
just quickly, Yanni, I'm going to piss you off with this.
Oh, go on.
What price is Rosalian for the Sussex?
Oh,
sorry, what did you say, Effie?
What price is Rosalian for the Sussex? Because that might be the way to play the race.
Yeah, but he missed that race last year. It's 5-1.
5-1, yeah.
Field of Gold's 5-1.
As you well know, that they've got as much chance against soft ground as fast ground there.
Yeah.
Well, that is some of the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no great appeal at that. Move on. Although, if you're backing horses each way in the Sussex, do remember that very rarely they get 8 runners. So if you think you're going to be on a runner, you might as well back 7 each way. So there's some anti-post advice for the best flat meeting of the year for you.
Oh, brilliant. Ballistic Missile was the one that I was backing in the Coventry. When Hannon has a winner first time up, they're usually pretty decent. That is a little bit of a cliche, but I think it's half true. This Ballistic Missile did almost everything wrong at York over 5 furlongs, but when the penny dropped, I thought he won well. I fancied him at 25 yesterday. I backed him at 25. He's now 50, so I backed him again. I just cannot see why he's that big a price. Obviously, we're dealing with untapped potential on virtually all of these. I just was quite surprised at that. He comes here with 1 runner. He's got a good record in the race. Hannon has. SD loves Richard Hannon runner, as he's shown in his selections in recent weeks. One thing I would say, Aidan O'Brien tells us every year that he likes his 2-year-olds to have at least 2 runs before Royal Ascot. He has 2 horses in the Coventry, and they've both only had 1 run each. Obviously, their first choice for the Coventry, Albert Einstein, is a non-runner. I found that interesting as well. Harry, we'll start with you on the Coventry. Did you like anything in particular?
I don't know. I think obviously it's a very tricky race, and you can make cases for most of them. I thought the Godolphin one was interesting. I'm not 100% sure that the extra furlong's going to be ideal.
I agree.
I wasn't really the one that I mean, to be honest, I think that Albert Einstein is a bit of a freak, and I was looking to that form. And to be fair, I think Power Blue beat Andab last time, but is almost double the price. So I thought that might be worth an each way play on Power Blue.
Do you know on that form though, Harry? Ryan Moore said that day he could have won by 10 lengths. It's not the kind of Ryan Moore thing to say. So that's why I'm not taking those horses that finish second and third reasonably close behind him that seriously. I could well be wrong there, but I see your angle. Wizard?
I've no opinion. Follow what is backed in the last 2 minutes and go with that.
Yeah. SD Coventry.
I think the outcome will rest on which horse improves most for its first or second run. In all honesty, look, I would give. I've not had a bet in the race, but I would say the Coles are in excellent form, and American Gulf wazzed up at Windsor. Really did. Absolutely. It was like it was on burners. And Warsaw on Derby Day, a lot of people might have missed it, but
I liked it.
Yeah, it looked good, didn't it? I think there are better races to play your money this week on, because I think there are too many imponderables. As was to say, the market will probably guide you in the last 2 minutes when the things take over.
Okay, the King Stand then at 340. 5 furlong sprint. Last year's winner, Asphora, comes back to defend her crown from down under. A very different prep this year, though. Last year ran at Haydock before coming here. And blinkers are on for the first time, I think. I'm not sure about her. Although it doesn't look any much of a better race this year than it did last year. I think this is an each way play. I know that Wizard likes Believing, so we'll start there on Believing.
Well, I did like Believing.
You did?
But I don't like the draw. I really don't like the draw. Again, she's been so unlucky with draws. I mean, being drawn away from the pace and the main horses nearly every run she's had. if he can manage to get involved with horses who are going to go on around him, I mean, he's going to have to turn left up the stalls because otherwise she's going to be on the wing and the race will develop away from her. As for, I mean, I suppose he did win this pretty comfortably last year. Night Raider, he does seem quite sure to me, Night Raider. He's, like I said to you the other day, he's priced on like he won the Duke of York, but it was a 5 furlong race.
Yeah. He wants 4 furlongs.
Yeah, he is very, very fast. I didn't really have a massive opinion on this. I don't think you could really back Believing at 4-192, knowing with the draw. I'm gonna pass on this one.
Got a comment from Paul in the chat there saying Starlust each way. I can see Starlust, but he is just one of those horses with at the moment just has that one piece of standout form. And I know he ran well in the Nunthorpe as well, but he's not really backed it up elsewhere, Starlust, for me. Rattling quick ground is what he wants and gets. Brendan says regional, ran well in this race last year. I think he was 2nd or 3rd. That's a fair shout as well. I was playing...
It's not very exciting, is it?
Well, you could say that about the whole field.
Well, you could, but I think that is a point. We've made this before. These 5 furlong horses are... especially Bradsel's not around anymore. Bradsell just showed you last year when it just defecated all over everything when it finally got out. What a weak division this is. It just doesn't excite me, regional.
So what does excite you then, SD?
Well, I completely agree with the Wizard on Believing. I think had Believing been drawn better, she'd have won this. She's still mine, but the problem therein is the price. I think American Affair reminds me quite a bit of some of Jim Gildy's other very good sprinters like Oriental, and probably is better than those. And nothing went right at Haydock last time. Quite why Mulrenham lurched left when it's fairly well known that there has been a slight bias toward the stand rail. I don't know.
Slight.
The highway. Even it must be that. It must be bad if even SD's, Haydock's.
Yes. So look, I was at Musselburgh when American Affair won, and I thought he got out of all sorts of trouble. I thought he won really well at York, and I didn't think that run in the Temple was that bad. I mean, what's his best price on the odds tracker now?
He's 17.5 on the machine, so I'm guessing he's
18.
14 cents.
No, he's been 18, standout 18 with Ladbrokes for some time. Because 16 now, was 18. SD and I have both tipped him actually on our daily tips at 18-1. The one I was looking at, and it's shortened a little bit since I put it up, so maybe I'm moving markets as well. Not. Just saw, like I say, I don't think there's any superstar in this race, and he was 33-1 earlier, 25 now. Quick ground is right down is what he wants. He had a ran decent in the Commonwealth Cup last year, and apparently, reading between the lines, sorry, I've been listening to trainers again. He had a bruised foot in preparation for that Haydock run. It was a bit of a no-show on his seasonal reappearance. Hoping he can come on from that. He was
well enough backed.
He was SD.
The track should play to American Affairs' strength, shouldn't it? Really, with that uphill finish.
Yeah, I think Ascot is made for American Affair.
Yeah.
You don't want to be at the front in a bloody King Standard Ascot.
No chance.
No, that's right.
I just throw something else in there. Right, Richard Hughes, I know you're watching.
It wants soft. That horse wants soft ground.
And this is exactly what I'm going to say. Do not run it. This is no half measures. Is a very, very good filly.
He would have won at Haydock if you got anywhere near the Golden Highway. You would have won.
Don't run it. It'll win the. There you go. It'll win the Prix de l'Abbé. There you go, Richard. Work back from there.
Harry, have we been? Have we been to Harry?
No, not yet. And I've backed Magira I think coming over from France, the last 2 runs on better ground, and I think that has been the key to the improvement as of late. And I think there is still more to come. A good winner from the back, and again, we'll be sitting out near the back to begin with, and we'll come home strong towards the end. And I'm hoping to get up late with Will Buick on board.
You like a good winner from the back and getting up late. Well done, Harry.
Thanks, SD. Thank you. Are we moving on?
Yeah, move on.
Right.
Better.
Right. St James's Palace for the 3-year-olds. We've got Guineas winners from England, France, and Ireland here. Just looking at the market now, Henri Matisse is now trading at a shorter price than Ruling Court, according to the Racing Post prices there. Is Field of Gold a superstar? He's pretty much priced as one. His odds on at the moment. Is it that simple? Anyone can take a jab at that. Harry, go on.
Yes.
Yeah, go on, Ali.
I think there's enough reason for me not to back him, but I'm trying to debate whether it's worth backing against him. I think we're sort of in that court. I think the ground is quick, and I do think that is a factor and not a positive one. But I do think probably will reverse the form with Ruling Court. So I think we are looking at Henri Matisse. Aidan O'Brien has 3 of the 7 in the race, and they've had some tricks up their sleeves in the past, and it wouldn't surprise me if Aidan O'Brien was going to try something tomorrow to get Henri Matisse to win and basically get Field of Gold beat. So, yeah, I'm not sure. It's probably just a race that we'll just watch and enjoy. But yeah, I think Field of Gold could be the superstar, but I'm not 100% sure at 4 to 5.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Tactics are going to be. I mean, they're going to have to go. They're going to go a million. I mean, what is your first wave? Is it your pacemaker?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to go on, and that'll go fast, and then Officer will be behind it. Yeah. They'll have to sacrifice Officer, and that's why I think the bet SD's put up Rashabar is a cracking bet, because I don't think Officer will be properly trying to, because he won't be able to place, because their full thing is to get Henri Matisse to win. He's a Field of Gold. I suppose he's the sort of price. I don't know if I'd want to back it or lay it at the price he is. I think Ruling Court. I don't really like Ruling Court. I don't really like Henri Matisse neither, if I'm being truly honest. But yeah, I think the bet SD's put up Rashabar each way without Field of Gold and Ruling Court is one of the best bets of the week, most probably.
Yeah, so just for those that haven't seen it, it is on our Twitter. SD has put up Rashabar, 2 bets. He did this in the 1,000 guineas to spectacular effect as well. Let's remember. So Rashabar earlier was without Field of Gold 10 to 1, and without Field of Gold and Ruling Court was 11 to 2, and you can back that 11 to 2 each way a quarter 1-2, so he could effectively finish 3rd or 4th, and you'll still get paid.
It's a sort of bet I had in the Champion Hurdle, if you remember rightly.
Yes, with that
angle, without the front 2.
Yeah. Go on then, SD. Tell us why.
Well, I think the first thing is Rashabar has proved itself at Ascot. Looked pretty good winning the Coventry last year. Look, there's ample Group 1 form there, and I thought it was a bit unlucky last time at the Curragh. Now, I think the other point, and I'm not totally convinced by Henri Matisse at all. This thing was nowhere near the top of their pecking order. If you go back to Guinness time, it was nowhere bloody near, and it seems to have. Well, it's not come from nowhere, because of course it won the Breeders' Cup last year, but obviously it won one of those poxy races in France, didn't it? So. Everybody now thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Poxy races pushing it a bit, even by your standards.
Just a French Guineas. I mean, I know
this. Just a French Guineas.
Derby winner was in 3rd. I think the French Derby winner was in 3rd. I think. I think Henri Matisse. I think the quick ground is perfect for him. I thought it was really quite nice in his trial. I enjoyed it. That was a good performance. I thought, obviously, clearly at a lower level. But it's a no bet race really for me. I think.
I think Field of Gold, it's just a question of can he maintain that level of form? Because some of those sectionals he was showing in the Irish Guineas were completely and utterly out of this world. I mean, he looked a superstar. And then it's a question of, well, what can improve? I mean, notable speech. This is ruling court. This is something of a plan B, isn't it? After the Derby, clearly they've been training him to get a mile and a half. I'm half surprised they didn't go to the Eclipse with him, to be honest. I think that might have been the correct race.
What do you think happened with the prices here? It's currently 182, 5.1, 5.1. I mean, I can't see Field of Gold getting any shorter, can you?
Yeah,
well, I thought that,
I can see it going 1.7.
Yeah,
Really?
I can see.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Right. Anything else other on the Tuesday? Nothing from me. Anything from you, boys? Wizard, SD.
No, not for me.
SD, you had something in the later handicap. I think one.
Oh yeah, the 14 furlong handicap. Yes. God knows what it's called. They've got that bloody many of these.
Couple of horses.
The copper horse. But yeah. Bloody hell. Right. I think Real Dream is half interesting. Look, it absolutely stunk at Nottingham. But when it's had a break, it's not usually too bad. I mean, it won here off, what was it, 7 weeks off a couple of years ago, and it's very well handicapped. If you look back at that run at Newmarket last year, when it was second to this iPad's playing at Maxi King, I think that's pretty good. Obviously, I think one of the angles which has been underestimated this year is horses moving from Sir Michael Stout. A lot of them have improved quite a bit.
Yeah, they are.
And I don't think a mark of 101 is beyond him. The stable form's a little bit of a concern, but you can let that go at the prices. He is currently getting back. And I just couldn't resist throwing a few quid on this Ammo horse, which is Crypto Force. Look, there were various stages of its 2-year-old career where you thought it was pretty good. And there were glimmers last year where you're thinking, well, 14 furlongs will suit it. And if it does, a mark of 102 certainly isn't beyond it. And his trainer is no stone jug at all. So I'd throw a dart at that.
Good up. Right, we're going to look at Wednesday then. We do have decks for that one. I'm going to go straight into the Group 1 Prince of Wales and then basically any other business thereafter, should you wish. White Birch came out today, no surprise there. Goods Firm Ground has put pay to him. So we've got a rematch between the Tattersalls Gold Cup 1-2 Los Angeles and Ammart with Map of Stars, the one from France. Quite interesting as third favourite. See the Fire has been supplemented for this after a romp in a Fillies Group 2 at York when we last saw her. I think they paid 70 grand to put that one in, which is clearly a few quid. And we've got actual Saint Ledger winner Continuous, who is now being used as a pacemaker in his 5-year-old days. Just shows how brutal it can be at Ballydoyle. Where you going with this one, Wizard?
I didn't think I was going to go in this direction a few days ago, but after looking at it, I think this is going to be a replay of the Tactical Cup. I think, I mean, it showed you how good they are in the Combination Cup the other day with the way with tactics. World champion can win, continuous pacemaker, certain lads wouldn't win if he started now. Factor Cheval's always been overrated. And Matt,
Agree.
do you trust Crowley? I mean, not really, and I think the ground's very quick for it. Map of Stars, he's good, but he's going to need a lot of luck. The Godolphin horse, so was it Bundsman? I didn't like that head carriage when he asked him to try and go past the Ed Walker horse the other day. I headed down to Los Angeles and see the Fire because I can see Los Angeles. I think he's going to be a bit more forceful as well.
Yep.
I think you might see 2.5 furlongs out, and he'll go.
Yep.
And try and say, "Catch me if you can." And I don't think they will. I think they'll all be in behind trying to get the same run. And I think Sea the Fire might challenge him most. That was an unbelievable performance at York.
Yeah. Sea the Fire is the market mover in this race. The predictable. She hasn't yet, but she's 6-1 now. I can see that. I could see that being.
Yeah, I can see Los Angeles being very, very strong. If he comes, I mean, Continuous is going to go on, and Los Angeles will be there. I suppose. I think he might come on the home turn, and obviously, Lord and on Continuous will try and get in the way of everything as possibly as he can.
Yeah, go straight on rather than round the bend. Actually,
yeah. He'll most probably stay two horse widths off him, so they've all got to go around him as well.
Yeah.
And I can't see how any of them would out battle him. I mean, they might do it for speed, but they won't let it turn into a speed race. They're going to want to turn this into a mile 3.5 race, and if that's the case, none of them will beat him.
Sea the Fire's ran well at Ascot before, hasn't she? She did all right in the Champion Stakes.
Yeah, but if they make it into a stamina test, then that's your sort of downfall, isn't it? I think 94 Fighter 2 is going to be a great price, and I think he'll be strong on the day as well. I can't see him getting beat myself.
Harry, SD will remind everyone shortly that you like favourites. Is Los Angeles a favourite that you'll be with?
I think for all the reasons that Lee has just mentioned, I think Amat is a bit of a bridle horse, and I think the jockey's also a bridle jockey, to be honest. But then I think it's something that we have mentioned before, and like Lee just mentioned, it is kind of a case of Aidan O'Brien runs these sort of races, and he'll get it run how he wants it run, and whether that will suit some of the others, I'm not so sure. But yeah, I do just think that sometimes we almost get caught up in Los Angeles being such a gritty horse that we sort of almost overlook how good he actually is as well. And yeah, I think he will confirm that form with Amat, and I think he'll take some beating.
I'm not saying Amat will win, right? But the way that he travelled through that race, you don't see that very often in Group 1 races. You really don't. I think some of the comments, both on the video and in the chat, are quite harsh on Crowley, actually, because remember, he worked miracles on this thing to win on Champions Day. I'm not saying it.
Come off it! Jesus Christ! He gives one horse a bloody good ride, and all of a sudden he should be big indicted. The man is out of his depth.
Listen to what I said. I said he worked miracles on this horse on Champions Day.
Yeah.
Because he did.
Said the comments were unfair.
I think the comments are a little bit unfair.
Well, they're not.
Okay, that's it. So you decide. If you watch that race back, crazy race. But anyway,
did he work miracles, or did the race fall into his lap?
But there was more traffic issues than SD had on the way home from the airport today.
Yeah, but that don't mean it was an unbelievable ride.
I didn't say it was unbelievable. I said it was a miracle type ride. If you watch that back from a furlong mark or even half a furlong, how that horse has still won, yeah, maybe that's how it did go. I just think the comments are a bit harsh. Calling him a bridle horse, I don't believe. I think that was. I'm not a fan of these, first runs coming on for the first run and running in the blooming Group 1 for a warm-up for another Group 1. But he clearly looked like a horse that was going to come on for the run. The ground is the big concern with him. The trainer's on record as saying that he doesn't want it too fast. So I'm coming round to agreeing with the Ballydoyle boys. They'll have their plan. And yet again, Wizard and Harry will probably be right.
Well, one thing I will say is, if Los Angeles wasn't in this race, and, well, maybe the ground... It'd suit him a lot better because he's against all the same type of horse. That with a horse like Amat, the worst nightmare ever is running against a horse like Los Angeles.
Yeah,
because you just know in the last half of the field you cannot out battle it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So moving on then, SD. Yeah.
Oh no, I'll give. Oh yes, I'll give you my opinion. I don't. Well, I think we're all too loved up with Los Angeles, so there we are. I think you can make a case that Los Angeles' best performances have come at the Curragh. I think that theoretically Amat should beat him, but I mean, people have missed this. It's about 7-year-old gelding now. Owen's in a lot better form. It would not surprise me at all if if that thing beat him. If Anmark beat Los Angeles. I agree with you, Wizard on Ombudsman. I think when these horses that start, it happens. Do you remember Blackjack Ketchum?
I do very much.
It's a bit like Blackjack Ketchum, this, but the flat version. When they get beat, they stick their head up and they say, "Sod off, I don't want to know."
They're never the same.
Yeah. I think there's a reasonable case for Map of Stars.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any disgrace last time being beaten by Sozi, who's gone on and won again. So if I was playing the race, which I don't know if I will or not yet, I'd probably back Map of Stars. See the Fire. I mean, are we really having it? I mean, this is... I rant on all the time about punting at York, but this just looked one of these bloody races at York. It was Jeff Smith who owned Arabian Queen as well, where the result is just baffling. I mean, it's won by 12 lengths. I'd want to see a little bit more away from York. It is worth noting that See the Fire's last 2 wins have been at York, and she did start at 66-1 in the Champion Stakes. I'm not having it. She's improved that much.
And she probably outran those odds in the Champion Stakes, although it was rather chaotic.
Well,
do you want to go
behind that magnificent ride from Jim Crowley?
Yeah. Do you want to go anywhere else on Wednesday, SD? You can go any race you want.
Well, yes. So let me tell you what I did today on a plane back, because I had 4 hours to go through the entire Ascot card for Wednesday.
So rather than talk to your close family and spend some quality time in the air.
Quality time in the air. Have you tasted those bloody cheese toasted? Like bloody
I don't go on budget airlines like USD.
Yes. Well, there we are. I think Wizard, you must have an opinion on the Royal Hunt Cup. Come on, it's the best handicap of the week or the second best?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm not after timing because certain people on this chat know, but I've gone all in on my cloud anti-post. Would I say to back it a 9-2 now? I don't think so. No. All the best horses are drawn high here, isn't it?
Yes.
So my cloud is there, the Liffey's there, Greek Order's there, Karat's there, Arabian Lights there. So I think, well, I suppose they come up the centre last year's Hunt Cup, didn't they, if I remember rightly? I think my cloud will win because I think he's a proper group horse. Apart from that, I've not got a massive opinion.
I don't disagree. I think my cloud's massive threat. I just throw in at a huge price, and this might be a spoiler for what I'm going to put up tomorrow. I could see Galeron running a race. I thought he reached 12th or 13 last time. Didn't stay 9 furlongs last time at Newmarket. I thought a little bit more in the Lincoln, and obviously some of the back form from the 2-year-old days is pretty darn good.
He ran well in the
a mark of 101 looks fine.
Yeah,
I think that's accounts for the price.
He ran well in the Lincoln. A big price. I'm backing Whipcracker. He's around 50-1
again.
I don't think. Have I backed him before? I think you backed him.
You backed him in the Lincoln trial,
didn't you?
Or the Lincoln?
No, you backed him in the Lincoln as well.
I did, but I'm saying again.
He was very well backed in the Lincoln, if I remember right, wasn't he?
Yeah, I just think that I know the Lincoln, possibly the Lincoln, but the last 2 races they've not really gone much of a pace, really. And I just think this is such a, Thirsk and Sandown. I just think this is such a different test, one that he may prefer. So yeah, good to firm ground would be a question mark about him. So I've not gone mad. Harry, can you talk to us about Greek Order and the Liffey, if you want, both of which have been interesting for different reasons, transferring yards, etc.
Yes. So Greek Order obviously was off this mark, was finished second in the Cambridgeshire, and probably should have won that day. Only had one other run after that in the UK in 2023. We're going back to now. Has been in America since and hasn't really done a whole lot. But yeah, comes back here off the same mark as in that Cambridgeshire where he went off 5-2 favourite.
Should have won. We watched that back today.
He should have won.
Yeah.
But I mean, was as big as about 50-1 earlier in the week and is now 11s. And then the Liffey, Joseph O'Brien, Ryan Moore. I mean, that was put in at about 100-1. And I think we've had Tom Segal on it and the money has just poured through. I'm not as sure on that one.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it seems one of those big gambles, but I can't say it's one that I'd be getting stuck into myself. I don't know whether anyone else has an opinion on that.
I mean, I think
I have an opinion on Tom Segal putting it up. It should bloody drift.
I do like Joseph. I think he's a good campaigner of horses. But yeah, I watched that Liffey back fourth at the Navan, I think it was, on his only run this year. There wasn't a lot in that. I mean, they might not have been trying, but they didn't look a lot in it to me. But yeah, 100-1 into about 7.
One thing I will say is if anybody's betting on the exchanges in this sort of race, there'll be some drifters in this race. And you'll see a horse who's maybe, 14-1 now, and it could be 40. Don't be put off because they're all trying in this race. And you know what the market's like in the last couple of minutes. But yeah, if you fancy a big price one, it's just like a badge. Don't be put off. But just back it win only on exchanges.
Yeah. Anything on the Wednesday, SD?
Oh, yes, I've got one for you at a massive, massive price.
Go on then.
Can you back it for me now, by the way?
I've got to do that for you as well, have I? Yeah, okay.
You can, sir.
Want me to wipe your arms while I'm at it? Right.
Well, race
you know which horse it is before I say it. Sorry, the bloody screen has frozen on this thing.
I don't know if I do know what horse you're talking about.
Well, race
the butcher's horse. The butcher's horse.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. You have said it, but I can't remember what you said.
Right, hold on. We're coming to it. It's in the Windsor Castle.
Yeah.
And the butcher trains it. Jack Jones, the butcher. Anyone watch Dad's Army?
No.
Never mind.
Wild Cop.
Wild Cop. Unfortunately, my screen has just gone down with this Japanese Wi-Fi.
Right, well, I'll tell you what SD was going to say. SD was going to say this horse ran at Leicester last time in a reasonably big field for that track, and everything that was near the front was drawn high, and this one was drawn low and had no chance.
And it's back in trick. It ran like a 5 furlong horse as well.
Dan Wood in the comments said SD's iPad is as reliable as Jim Crowley.
Well, yes. Twice.
Every week you moan about that iPad. Every week.
Honestly, it's slowing down. It's not even mine. Not even mine.
Right, so SD likes Wild Cop at 66-1 currently. That's in the last race. The Windsor.
Is there no 80 left? It was 80s before.
No,
Bloody hell.
There's the Queen's Vase. The Queen's Vase on Wednesday 3:05. The Royal Ascot Ledger, if you like. That's what I would call it. There's one interesting.
Did you get that off Aiden as well?
No, I've just made that up on the spot, to be honest with you. There's one of interest here, I thought, for Roger Varian, Rahib, who's around 11-1 in those yellow and black colours, was second behind Merchant at York last time. And Merchant is one of the big fancies for William Haggis in a handicap later this week, already been well backed. And this Rahib gave Atakari £8 more than Merchant when they met at York. In a handicap at the Dante meeting, I thought Rahib ran pretty well there, and I thought he would have a chance in this. I will probably be tipping him in my daily tips Wednesday morning.
I think the Jolly will win that. There you go.
Shackleton, is it? Shackleton.
I think Shackleton has been absolutely crying out for that trip. Nice old boat. Maybe a bit of a less of a boat than Lambourne, but yeah.
Yeah, you called Lambourne. I just think Shackleton good to firm ground. SD slight question mark. Camelot.
You overthink things. What's Aiden said?
Well, you say you don't like what trainers say. Wizard. Anything
else? My point.
Anything else for Wednesday? Wizard, Queen Mary. Anything?
No, I think you're right on Rahib.
Oh, thank you.
Well, yeah, I think we know why, and. Yeah, the other one in that horse as well, Paddy Toomey's horse. I can't remember the name of it.
Karmas.
Yes, that's the one. he's a brilliant trainer, Paddy Toomey. I think he's had this race earmarked for quite a while. Watch trying to betting as well.
Yeah, Harry, anything for you on Wednesday?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, the Queen's Vase, I was looking at 2 horses, and it was Rahib and Karma. So I would just leave it there, I guess.
Yeah.
You've said everything that needs to be said.
Yeah, we'll sort you out. Right. We are now entering the territory of yet to be finally declared. So on to Thursday, Gold Cup. I've changed my opinion slightly on this today. I've been saying for a week or so that Trawlerman each way was the best bet available. He has been trimmed in a little bit. I don't particularly like Trawlerman. I don't think he's got a great sexy profile, but this is a race where full of pension, away from the top of the market, full of pensioners, really. Sweet William, Coltrane's 8 years old, Dubai Futures 9. Trushan, who's been a non-runner in this race 4 years running in the same race, he's still entered. So we'll be making
great to get the badges, isn't it? Great for the owners to get the badges.
Imagine being a non-runner in the same race 5 years running. Anyway, I think Illinois is an absolute penalty kick.
I agree. There you go. I'll keep it short.
And I know another man who agrees. So Harry, do you agree?
Oh, I'm unsure. I'm still unsure. Like, I do think that. I just think this is a bit of the up in trip is a question mark, and probably the percentage one is Trawlerman because only a length behind Kyprios last year, and is Illinois as good as Kyprios?
That's a fair way to put it. That's fair.
He won't have to be.
But yeah, okay. that might be true. Yeah,
it's a big thing. Or will he stay? For me, it's a positive because you're asking the horse to do something for the first time. But the class he's got above a lot of these. I mean, he's ran Jan Bruegel to half a length last year in St. Ledger, who obviously has gone on won the Coronation Cup, a big Venturous, can't remember the name of it, Clandeghan. He's won very, very easy at Chester the other day. Yeah, and I think, I still remember Yates come from winning before Yates won a Gold Cup. He won a Coronation Cup. He'd only ever ran over a mile and a half. Never mind.
Yates was Aidan's Derby odds 1 year.
Yes, he was. Yeah, the year before he got injured. I think it's a positive. I don't think he'd have any problem. He's been a stayer since day one, Illinois, and I think.
Well, his first ever run was over 10 furlongs, I think.
Yeah.
I had a question mark over him staying, and I think I've answered myself to be honest, because he's Ledger. He's won over 1 mile 7 as a 3-year-old on his last start last year in France. He won over an extended trip at Chester for that time of year. It was I think he'll win.
And they won't need to get him beaten either.
No,
they won't need to get him beat at all. So,
I think you're both right.
I've heard a few people say that. But yeah, Trawlerman, his price has come in a little bit now, so he's not that, the one of, I hate this saying, but he's not that each way bet to nothing that he was a couple of days ago, because he is actually second in the market now as Candelari's drifted a little bit.
It will be interesting to see what happens with Illinois' price, because will he drift or will he stay strong all the way through? I'm not, from the way they're talking, I suppose he'll stay strong all the way through, but as I said to you the other day, it wouldn't surprise you if he drifts to say 9-4, 5-2, 11-4, and then gets smashed back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, he seems a lot stronger on Betfair last couple of days. So I don't think I'd be surprised if he get above 2-1.
Anything else on Thursday for you, Wizard?
I think I don't want to sound like I'm shipping a lot of favourites up, but
SD will start calling you Harry if you carry on.
My strongest fancy of the week is Catalina Del Caprio in the Ribblesdale. Again, Paddy Toomey, she should have won when she won at Nace. Couldn't get out in time. Her form's sort of worked okay, and the Ribblesdale is, I think. Have you looked at Ribblesdale? Yeah, SD.
Pardon?
Have you looked at the Ribblesdale? Yeah.
Well, I've had a quick look over. You seem to be in the Paddy Toomey fan club, don't you?
I am. It's one of the worst Ribblesdales you've ever seen. It's an absolute shocking race. I think she'll win that. and my strongest
Serenity
fence.
Bred's a chance, surely.
Who? Yeah, she finished second beyond Will, didn't she? Yeah.
Well, so
I'm
1 minute.
I'm
We've
not
got a
totally
wide
convinced by-
margin. We've got a wide margin victory at York, which SD appreciates in World beating Serenity Prayer by 5.5 lengths, but Seed the Fire winning by 9 lengths doesn't count.
No, you're taking the. You're a complete clown sometimes. I'm sorry, but
You've said it.
no. See, the Fire's last 2 wins have been at York, and I just said it might be an example of that sort of thing being too good to be true. Serenity
You
Prayer
precursed it by saying I take a dump on York every week. I think that's what you said before that.
Well, it doesn't mean I don't back horses who's run at York. I mean, Jesus Christ, that would be the quickest way to the Bull Farm ever.
So yeah, Wizards' biggest fancy and biggest bet of the week is Catalina Del Carpio in the Ribblesdale, now around 5-2 for that man.
I got one more as well.
Yep.
Well, one more. We've backed Merchant at New Post in the King George.
Race 2 on Thursday, handicap.
Yeah, won really well at York last time. I don't think many people have noticed this, but Haggis has entered this in the King George.
Yep.
Okay.
I think is Wizard
We
putting out.
back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're back. Yeah, he's entered Merchant for the King George, but yet he runs in this handicap of 90.
Yeah, off 90. I think he's going to live a mile and a half.
Yeah.
I think he's very, very well handicapped. And one, I don't know if he's going to run in this or run on Saturday in the Golden Gates, Gunship for James Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's going to step up the mile and a half as well, and he's going to love it.
The draw's important there, Wizard, in that race,
yes.
isn't it?
No, it is, yeah. It is.
It's very important. The Willie Carson route.
I think last year it was won by Beckett's horse. I think it was drawn high, drawn 18. Anything else on Thursday? I mean, the Britannia, you could have about 20 picks and still not pick the winner.
Right, just on the Britannia, Wizard. Right, let's call this out now.
Oh, here we go.
Is this charity thing where all bookmakers pay a quarter first for a game?
Yes.
I mean, what on earth are they playing at? Let's face it, British bookmaking is on its arse, and now we've got them giving to charity like they're some sort of saint. It isn't the case. If people want to give to charity, let them bloody give to charity instead of being told en masse, oh yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll just donate all the profits from this race. I won't bet in the Britannia because of this dictatorship.
No,
How often do you give to charity, Yesti?
That's between me and the charity.
No, you've got to back. Unfortunately, you've got it. Most probably the way you bet in the Britannia is to play win only on the exchanges.
Yeah,
because you can't bet each way. You can't bet each quarter forward and 30 win a race.
Because British bookmakers cannot stand up to the absolute wretched people at the Gambling Commission and think somehow that they'll get some credit for giving the profits. It's absolutely farcical.
There's usually one of the cowboys that don't operate to it and bet to 5 places.
Good. Be more cowboy.
Yeah, I think. I think there's one firm who are not actually officially part of it.
Yeah, there will be.
Good.
Which might be the firm I work for, but
does it go to? Don't let me guess. Do the winnings go to bloody Gamcar or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not that. It's not.
But you couldn't pick a worse race because you actually. This is a race where you need 5, 6, 7, 8 places on a 30 winner.
Exactly.
Are punters compensated by bigger prices generally?
No.
Right, okay. No. Well, in which case, I don't agree with it. Right, moving on to the Friday 2 Group 1s, Commonwealth Cup, and this Coronation where we will start. I would generally be against this Zaragona. She's around 7-4 at the moment. I think she's a little bit quirky. Quick Ground's going to be a question mark. Falakayar has been supplemented into this. They've took a while deciding. Remember, we've not seen her since the 4th of May. She's only had 2 starts in her life. So that's a big enough gap for a horse on the classic season, having only had 2 starts. So that's interesting. Kontiki also supplemented to this. Chantilly Lace, should I say, made her second career start in the Guineas itself. finishing 5th, and another one from the Guineas that SD put up and profited from, Flight, to finish 2nd in the 1,000 Guineas. We'll start with you then, SD. Coronation Cup Stakes.
Coronation Cup
Stakes.
I don't like Falakea going back in trip. I think that's the first thing. I agree with what you said about the French horse. I haven't properly analysed the race. Flight looks big enough each way, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it was a bit covered up last time. I've not got a strong opinion on this, particularly at this stage.
I don't mind Falakea coming back in trip, to be honest. I don't mind that. I think that she looked just really quite good, obviously, at Newmarket in obviously a lesser race. The one I might be looking at, and I do need to do some more digging, is this Cersine for Joseph G. Murphy, who ran 3rd in the 1,000 Guineas in Ireland behind Late Victoria. I thought she was a big eye catcher on her start before that in a Group 3. So I'll be looking at her, but I'm not committed at this stage. I've not really got that far in the week, to be honest. Wizard, Coronation?
I've not got a massive opinion, really. I don't think it's a certainty Zaringa goes off Avia. Which I mean, her level of form, it's not outstanding. I mean, she beat She's Perfect in Exactly last time. Obviously, you've seen what She's Perfect done on Sunday. And I think they're going to go to the Jersey with Exactly. Yeah, so I mean, it sort of reminds me, I remember last year when Late Victoria was quite a short price. And then she gifted like a badge. I don't think her level of form's that great. In behind the Falakea and Kontiki, they think the world of Kontiki. They couldn't have again beat at York, and she won pretty well. Falakea, yeah, I feel like it's just, I don't know. She got pulled from the Diane because she was injured. And I suppose
Did
that was
she
only
go dirty or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't think the vibes are that great coming from her, but I do think she's a very good filly.
She's been supplemented though, she got pulled from the Diane, but then was supplemented for this. Was it Sunday? So she can't be that bad.
No, it makes you and they wouldn't. They've
already showed patience with her. They didn't, there wasn't.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
yeah,
I love Alec Burrows.
Yeah,
we know.
He's very good. I think the market will tell a lot. I don't want to sound like a broken record again, but I think the market will be a big show in this race because it's hard to have a massive opinion because they will know if Falakea is right. And what I would say is, I think you're not bad betting against Zaringa because I think all she will do is drift.
Yeah. Harry, what do you think about the Coronation?
Well, I think it's like Wizard said a minute ago. Exactly, might be going to the Jersey, and I did see that because he's only got Aidan O'Brien's only got 2 in that race, and that is Officer and Exactly. And I'm assuming Officer's going to run on the Wednesday, so I'm assuming January is going to be ridden by Ryan Moore and won't be 16-1 come the race.
That's a fair angle. That's a fair angle.
Yeah, I mean, I did actually read rumours that apparently Ryan Moore wanted to ride January as well, and that might be why Exactly is going to the Jersey as well. And I think Shanti Lace is worth a mention as well. Rafe Beckett with these fillies only had 2 runs to her name and ran a good race actually in the 1,000 Guineas. So I think might be worth them to an each way price.
I got told yesterday that's been working very well. Chantilly Lace.
Yeah, I think coming into the year he thought that was his number one filly. Obviously, she's only had the 1 run so far. Right, the other Group 1 on Friday. I've already used this statement before for Illinois, but I think Shadow of Light is approaching penalty kick status for me. I am on him anti-post. I think Harry's on him as well anti-post. I think everyone except for SD really, because he's the worst judge on here. On this call is on Shadow of Light anti-post. But no, I think for a non-suspect stayer in the 2,000 Guineas, I thought he ran a blinder. Obviously, that form's already been backed up by what Field of Gold has gone on to do in Ireland. I think, all roads have led here since, and I think he's definitely the one to beat in this one for sure.
Do you want me to
Wizard.
throw something at you?
Yeah, go on. Please do. Please do.
I'm not saying Shadow of Light can't win, but I'd be interested in Ain't Nobody at a massive, massive, massive price.
When the Windsor Castle last year, wasn't it?
Well,
Was it
I
Windsor Castle?
think this horse's two best runs have come at Ascot. It won the Windsor Castle, and it was third here, wasn't it, in the Pavilion Stakes?
Oh,
which
SD. SD. I'm very, very glad you have said that horse and that pavilion, because as regular viewers, not USD, because I know you don't care what I say, but as regular viewers and readers at Races Now will know, I've put up this Diablo Rojo at 33 to 1, I think. He ran in that pavilion, finished in front of Ain't Nobody, and he had to steer around horses there that day. Hasn't ran since, so he's coming directly here. Does have an entry in that jersey as well, I think. I've not double checked that today. So that is a slight word of caution. But yeah, I thought Diablo Rojo ran a perfect trial for this race at a big price, obviously.
So what on earth are you picking? I mean, Shadow of Light, you've took great glee telling us you're on at whatever price you're on at.
Well,
And now you're picking.
1 minute. When Wizard said earlier he was on my cloud at 12 to 1, you were in silence. I said I'm on Shadow of Light at 8 to 1 and you're pulling me up. That's fine. I can take it. I can handle it. But that's your bias at play there. So I've backed Shadow of Light at 8 to 1 and 6. He's now 7 to 4. So I'm very happy with that. I'll be leaving that. And I'll also be back in because I've just checked he is now not entered in the jersey. Diablo Rojo, I will be back in each way at 33 to 1. Thank you very much.
Just a second. The iPad battery has gone.
So now, see, I just give him a good put down there, and he just deflects by talking about his 4-year-old's iPad that he has to use for races now. I mean, he gives this persona, he's the punter's pal, he's all, racing's number one personality, yet doesn't even own his own iPad, for God's sake. Right, Harry, talk to me about the Commonwealth.
I'm quite interested. Whistle Jacket I can't have, and I don't think will be ridden by Ryan either. So I think Ides of March will be shorter come the day than Whistle Jacket.
So you think Ryan will ride Ides of March over Whistle Jacket? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think Whistle Jacket's a 2-year-old horse that had a good 2-year-old season, and then isn't wants off the ground as well. I think is also key.
Yes, I agree.
Definitely wants off the ground.
Jonquil, I can't really see that. I think that might be. I think it's just kind of how everything's worked out with some of these horses, but I don't see Jonquil winning the Commonwealth Cup. I think Shadow of Light could be very difficult to beat. Like obviously it was the move mid-race in the Guineas when they went pretty slowly, and obviously that show of speed was pretty good. And then I do just think that down to this trip will suit a lot more than the mile. Because an actual run in the St James's Palace, I didn't have Shadow of Light with any chance really. But I do think we'll have a good chance here.
It's a strange one with Jonquil because I agree with you. I don't think he's a 6 furlong horse, and he only just got beaten in French Guinea. So why are you dropping down to the Commonwealth Cup for?
It's because Juddmonte have got plenty of contenders.
I know, but then they've got Babouche here.
They have,
So, and I'm just looking at the jockey bookings then. So Colin Keane is on Babouche, which obviously I suppose are Lions. But then Murphy is on, I think, is that a Spanish horse?
I don't know.
Sorry. Murphy's on the American horse. And they've not got no jockey booked yet. So, no. I don't know if it's a certain runner. I'm not.
I wouldn't take it as gospel that Colin Keane is jocked up on Babouche. I would.
But I suppose he has got a Colin Lyons link, and he'll want to ride it. But then, if Murphy's claimed for that, there's no obvious jockey booking for Jonquil, is there? Because Ryan Moore will be retained by Coolmore.
Yeah, there's plenty around, isn't there?
Buick's on thing, so are they definitely going to definitely run him? I don't know. He should be running in New Jersey.
Yeah, I agree.
That much I do agree with.
Yeah,
it's Cosmic Gear in the
jersey written all over him.
What is it? Yeah, what do you say, Addy?
Is Cosmic Gear in the jersey?
No, I don't think he was. No, he's going for the pre-John Pratt.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
now I am surprised that.
But you look at Jonquil here, he's got one entry at Ascot in the Commonwealth Cup, then he's entered in the July Cup, and he's also entered in the Sussex Stakes at the moment. Yeah, but you could see at least one of those Juddmonte horses not running, just for the reasons given. Really, John Crowley might be a bit lost with him, and he might lack a jockey. Why don't you get Wizards' favourite jockey Kieran Schumacher in to do the riding?
Well, he'd be a great addition.
He would. Anything else on the Friday? Wizards Sandringham is a race that you like.
I've not. I won't lie to you. I've not totally looked at that race yet until the final decks.
Yeah.
What else have we got Friday?
Albany, Duke of Edinburgh, Sandringham.
Duke of Edinburgh. I mentioned to you one yesterday, didn't I? Duke of Edinburgh. The Wafnan horse. God, I can't remember the name of it.
Wafnan.
Ran in the King George last year.
French. He's running on a French Duke. Yeah,
French Duke. Yeah, it's interesting. It's coming up year first time.
Yeah.
I noticed they gelded it.
Because he did a lot wrong. A lot went wrong for him last year.
So he took off down the back straight, and he I can't remember who was on. Might have been Doyle.
Buick. No cover. He got bumped late on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's come, and then he's gone to win his race, and then you can't do that, Ascot, because you'll get swallowed up. He's got a fair chance. Ethical Diamond, I know his favourite. He was very keen in this race last year. I think another year jumping might have calmed it down a bit. In the King Edward, one of my strongest fancies a week, Zaran. Johnny Murter trains. I don't know if anybody's been following this horse in Ireland. Ran a Cork, won by 10 lengths. I mean, it looked unbelievable. And then he ran a Leopardstown a couple of Fridays ago. Come off the pace when nothing else really did in that sort of race, and beat a pretty average field, but it won pretty easy. And it's improving with every single race. Because I don't know about anybody else, I'm not a massive fan of the Fab in that race. I'm a lock.
Yeah, he did a lot wrong at Goodwood.
I think he's a lunatic. It's a lunatic of a horse. And running that race at Goodwood last time compared to this race, on fast ground as well. I think the ground had a fair bit of juice in it that day at Goodwood. I think Zaran is a cracking bet at 8-10-1.
Nice to see this week we've got Jockey Merry-Go-Round again on Ambiente Friendly and Wimbledon Hawkeye in that race, who's going to be Hawkeye back to Silvestra and Ambiente back to Rab Havlin. I hope they both get stuffed.
I couldn't have Wimbledon Hawkeye at all.
No. Are we moving on to Saturday, SD?
Yeah, move on. I thought Saturday's a good day, isn't it? There's some very
Saturday's actually my least favourite day, to be honest.
It's probably because you have to drive home and have 6 piss stops on the way home.
Yeah,
nothing to do with the racing.
That could well be the truth. There is the Group 1. We'll come on to that. I'll start you off in the Wokingham with the bleeding obvious, because Richard Hannon today was proudly telling everyone that Ryan Moore specifically asked to ride a Ram in the Wokingham, and that's why it's now second favourite at around 10-1. Shall we start in the Wokingham, Wizard?
I'll go last.
Shall we start in the Wokingham, Harry?
I haven't really had a major look at the race. I do think that there is a clear case to be made for More Thunder. Like it was mentioned earlier by SD, a horse that has improved. Well, not only just improved because of the change in trainer, but also the change in trip. Running over 9 furlongs and then coming back to 6, and has really looked a completely different horse. And I think did really well to win it last time. It's not a race that I've delved into majorly, but it would be one that I would find it difficult to take on More Thunder at this stage, I think.
He's ran the 2 most obvious Wokingham type races so far this season. Fully deserves to be bang up there near the top of the market. SD, there's some old names in here that you'll be familiar with. Twilight Calls being one of them. Where are you going at this early stage?
Tomorrow.
It's also in the Wokingham, sir.
I know, but I'm telling you, it runs tomorrow. I'm fascinated to see Elmont Jedden and Wokingham. I think
yes.
it could be. Yes. Definitely. I think I think off a mark of 96. I think given the right circumstances, it's probably a group horse. I think the current odds are fine, and that's probably the way I will play the race. As you say, there's a lot of old favourites in here, most of whom aren't getting any younger. So that was my standout in the race. So of course, there's a case to be made for more Thunder, but do you really want to be backing a horse anti-post at 5-1 in a race like the Wokingham 5 days before, when it'll probably be that price on the exchange or bigger on the day?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Right,
No,
you asked us to come to you last, Wizard.
Yeah. No, I agree with SD. I fancied Almond for the Wokingham for a long time. He put the blinkers back on last time. I just don't think the race ran to suit. I don't think they went quick enough. He didn't get any cover at all. He just ran a bit flat. But
He did.
in it,
I know because I backed him on the deck first time ever.
He did. I think he's made for this race, El Madrid, because they'll go a fast pace. He'll have him buried, and hopefully Crowley, that wonderful jockey, can do the business.
Well, that's a worry, isn't it?
Yes,
that is a worry.
But then you're playing the 20-25 to 1, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The risk reward ratio is there for it.
Yeah, I've got one at a big price for this. Sergeant Wilco, who's about 40 to 1. I've not backed him yet. I may well do. He ran at Haydock last time. It was on the wrong side of the track, away from that draw bias that we've alluded to. The first 3 all race near side. Sergeant Wilco down the middle. Career best effort on Racing Post ratings. He had cheek pieces on for the first time, I think, that day. So I just thought he was interesting. So he goes off the same mark here. But there was 11 horses on his side of the race, and he won that pretty easily. The 3 that were not on his side of the race finished first, second, and third. So I thought that was interesting. Sergeant Wilco.
I'm not sure he's going to win, but he's interesting. Symbol of Honour's running this race, isn't it?
It is. I was going to come on to him because he's the gelding, 3 years old.
SD might remember. I cannot remember that many 3-year-olds running the Wokingham SD, can you?
No.
Is it on the basis that they can't get in usually? Do you mean?
Well, yeah, because I think is it £7?
That's what obviously stops them. Getting in.
3 years.
I think of the last 3-year-old I can remember in the Wokingham. There you go. Rohan won it as a 3-year-old. Why how Rohan won 2 Wokinghams is one of life's mysteries.
Oh, that's one of Wizard's favourite horses. Wizard loves Rohan at Ascot.
I do, yeah.
Iron Moor, soft ground, a bit soft in the description. Right, let's talk about the 8th and final Group 1, then this Jubilee Stakes. I just never really have taken to this race. I don't know why. It's completely my fault. This year has a very international feel to it because we've got the best 6 furlong horse from France, without any question, Lazat. Probably the best 6 furlong horse in England, in Sherin, last year's Commonwealth Cup winner. Possibly the second best 6 furlong sprinter in Japan, although I'm no expert, Satono Rev. And possibly...
Did the trainer tell you that?
No, possibly. The ratings do, thank you, sir. Possibly, although yet to be proven, the best 6 furlong horse in Ireland from Australia, Stormboy, who has managed to go off 6-4 in a Group 2, ran an absolute stinker, finishing 9th of 9, and he's now a shorter price for the Jubilee than he was before that stinker, where he finished 9th of 9. Can you tell me why that is, please, Wizard?
Well, you could take a guess, couldn't you?
It just doesn't happen, though, does it? He was
no, they like it, don't they? That's pretty obvious. I think this is race of the week. Personally, I've always loved this race.
I preferred it when it was the Cork and Orrery.
Oh, there you go. There's your
run on Ascot Heath.
Was it preferred it when it was called Heath Day at Royal?
Yeah, Heath Day. Yeah,
I used to love going to Heath Day. Yeah. Fantastic day.
I'm not. One I'm definitely against is Inner Sherry. I'm not a massive fan of that horse at all. I think the full Bermuda form. I mean, it just managed to battle back up. I mean, it bombed out in the July Cup, didn't it? It did beat Lake Forest in the Commonwealth, but I think this is a different level of sprinter. He's going to be running against on Saturday. Lazat is a very, very good horse, top gear. Sant'Antonio Rev, I've said to you, I think he's an absolute proper horse, Sant'Antonio Rev. And Storm Boy's coming back on. He's going to love fast ground, and obviously they fancy him. I wouldn't put a win better, but I think if you can play against Inner Sharon, against Sant'Antonio Rev and Top Gear and a few of them, or even lay him place, I do that because I think he's going to struggle with some of these top class sprinters.
That Inisherin race at York last time was just a crazy race to watch. It looked beat on multiple occasions, as far as I could see. The opposition was, questionable stayers. Night Raider, particularly elite status, might just be a 5 furlong horse. Funny race to watch, that one at York. But at the line, he was doing it in okay fashion. Won the Commonwealth last year. It's going to be a no bet race for me because I just don't know enough about Lazat, the Japanese horse, or Storm Boy. SD, go on.
I think Anaf's a chance. Beyond one of the prize.
Yeah, I'm back at Anaf.
I think Anaf is a probably a £5 better horse at Ascot than anywhere else. And you go back. Look, you are going back some way in the form book, but certainly the run in the King's Stand as it was then behind Bradsell and Highfield Princess was pretty good. As I say, I think he's a better horse at Ascot. Ross's book, that'll do for me at that price. What is he, 33?
50. It's according to Racing Post. He's feeding through at 50 to 1 currently.
There you go. I'll throw a wild dart at that. Flora won't run if it's lightning quick, will it?
I think she wants, but no, he will run because he stays.
Yeah,
so she will run. But no, you're right. She wants off the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's Kind of Blues in this race as well? Surely he deserves a mention, does he not? He won on Champions Day last year.
Isn't he in another race? Isn't he in a 5 furlong race?
No, he's going for this. He's going for this.
Is he going for this? Is he?
Yeah, I think it just deserves a mention. Obviously, he was crap on his reappearance in France. But
I think that's a bit harsh crap.
Yeah.
I mean,
he went off 1 to 2, and he was 9th of 9, beaten 6 lengths.
Yeah, but
if you watch the race,
I have watched it. I know that sounded like I haven't watched it, but I have. Well, he did miss the break quite badly.
Very badly, yeah. You asked sort of like he never passed a horse, which I'm a bit thing about. I think he might struggle against these top class sprinters.
Yeah.
Fanshaw's bloody good in these sorts of races.
He is very good. He's very good.
I mean, the man, honestly, he's looked the same. He's looked like death warmed up for 30 years, but he's never aged.
The skeleton man.
No, it does look a really good race, but it's not one for me to be betting in. Are we going to talk about the Hardwick, where Kalpana, I think, is second favourite for the Arc? Is looks like to be going here 9 to 4. Rebels Romance, Al Riffer, they do more globetrotting than most. Ghostwriter has been purchased for £2 million by Kia this evening, which I think is absolutely bonkers. And one of SD's favourite horses in training, Al Arze, is in there. Talk to me about the Hardwick.
She definitely going to run Kalpana?
I honestly don't know.
I thought she wanted a little bit more juice in the ground, didn't she?
It's her only option this week.
She ran at this meeting last year, and she was disappointed, wasn't she? On lightning quick ground.
Yeah.
And that would be the concern. I think she's very, very good. I thought she was given an absolute shite ride at the Curragh. And I think she's probably better than these, but I'd be worried about that run here last year. She should be a different league to these, in all honesty.
I agree. If she ran, I wouldn't want to back her anti-post, but if she gets declared, I couldn't put anybody off her then. But I mean, that's got to be a little worried about the ground.
Yeah. Right. We've been on well over an hour here, so we're going to wrap it up with best bets, if that's all right. We're going to
just one.
Just a quick one for Saturday.
No, if you mention Hexham, I'm going to remove you from the call.
I'm not mentioning Hexham.
Go on then.
I thought Grandma was very interesting in the Lando Burns Philly Stakes a Dare. So there you are.
Oh, but,
I thought.
right, it's a good job we're
I
wrapping up.
just thought it was noteworthy. If Fozzie Stack brings her over, she may well be worth betting.
Someone in the comment is saying, "SD, have you got your dinner down your shirt once again?" He probably has. He probably has.
No, is the answer. Just
right,
jet lagged.
right. The same person also says that I couldn't tip socks out of his sock drawer. That's Borat.
Well, that's nice, isn't it?
Borat.
Hashtag be kind.
I bet there's all sorts of goodies in that sock drawer.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Right, Harry, I want you to tell me your best bet, banker, and I want you to tell me an each way bet.
Okay, so I will go with. I mean, I've been pretty consistent with this, and I've said it a couple of times now that I think Rosalien is the one for me. Banker, Shadow of Light, and each way I will go with. Let's have a look. Come back to me on each way one. I haven't decided that one.
Yes, palpitations when you ask him for double figures.
Yeah, right, well, I'm going to go before I forget. I think Illinois will win. I think Shadow of Light will win the short prices. And I just can't get over this ballistic missile who continues to drift every time I talk about him for the Coventry. He's 50-1 for the Coventry. So there's me. We're coming to you next. Wizard, I nearly called you leader.
I'm going to say Nap is Kathleen Del Caprio in Ribblesdale.
Yeah.
Merchant in the King George V. And you want one each way?
Well, yeah, Merchant's an each way price, to be fair. But yeah, that'll do. If you're happy with them two, that'll do me.
Yeah, I might have one more. I'll go to SD first.
Well, I'll say Russia Bar's probably the bet of the week, playing those fancy betting without terms, but it is available, so take advantage of the lady in Stoke who's about to sell out. Banker, well, look, Illinois will win. We've identified a few at a massive price. I don't know, maybe backing enough each way in the Golden Jubilee is the way to go with that at 50.
Go on then, Harry. Big price. Are you allergic to big prices?
I'm going for Nürburgring in the Ascot Stakes.
Jesus Christ. I wasn't expecting you to go there. Right, okay. Joseph O'Brien. Yeah, is that Joseph?
Yeah.
Right, good luck with that. Wizard, final word to you.
Best secret in the Golden Gates on Saturday.
Oh, right. That's another
Is that
one.
that awful 5 furlong 3-year-old handicap?
No, that's a Palace of Holyrood.
Oh.
Best secret of French horse. It won really well in France on the 30th of April. Westland have bought it. Doyle's already on, and it's going to be off America 95. And yeah, I think it'll be well in.
If SD ran for the bus tomorrow morning on the way to work, Wafnan would buy in. Right. Great. Well, we've got the SD daily tips as usual. Will be in play every day. You'll be looking at Beverley and Thirst tomorrow. You'll also be doing Royal Ascot daily tip special. I will be trying to do the same. There's bits and bobs over at oddsnow.com in written format, and there'll be no Thursday show this week. No Thursday show this week, as you will be catered for on those daily videos that I mentioned. SD, as always.
Weatherby.
Final. Can you round us off, SD, by telling us where you will be going racing this week?
I mean, Weatherby Thursday. Where am I? Saturday, I don't know. Probably Haydock or Bangor or both. And Hexham, Britain's most scenic racecourse on Sunday for Ladies' Day, and the Northumbrian ladies do scrub up well.
You're not going to
actually.
You're not going to Exeter on Monday, by any chance, are you?
No, Exeter don't race in July. Is it Wolverhampton next Monday? I could be doing Wolverhampton. You're not at my best one. You'll like this. There's one later on in the month. I think Thursday evening's Kempton, Friday afternoon Sandown, Saturday afternoon Haydock, up to Carlisle, Saturday evening, Ayr on Sunday, Wolverhampton Monday.
Right. Thank you very much. See you soon.
So there you go.
Bye-bye.